Well, there is so much chatter over claiming credit points from our cards and availing free flight trips, gifts, etc. etc. Fintech founder Ashish Lath says years of disciplined spending, tracking rewards, and full repayments helped him extract serious value from credit cards. But his experience is not the average user story, and that distinction is what matters. Because credit cards are no longer niche in India. Millions of Indians now swipe daily. Spending is rising fast and rewards are no longer a bonus. They are the pitch. Where does this reward money actually come from then? Credit card rewards, remember, are not free. Banks fund them through merchant fee. That cost eventually shows up in prices we all pay. Further, one reward point is not 1 rupee. Value changes based on how and where you redeem. Flights and hotels can give better returns, vouchers and merchandise usually don't. This gap between perception and math is where many users slip. Points feel like savings, but they come from spending first, and the value is often overestimated. But why don't more people optimize rewards? Because optimization takes time, rules keep changing, and convenience usually wins. Also, not everyone benefits equally. And who does benefit the most from credit points? Well, it's high spenders, mostly online shoppers, frequent travelers, and premium card holders. They see value. Casual users usually do not. But do rewards make us spend more than we plan to? That's where today's conversation begins. So let's quickly go over to our experts. Joining us this morning, Ajay Bagga, market expert, is our first guest on the Breakfast Club, along with Ashish Lath, founder of Save Sage, who himself has spoken widely of its benefits. Thank you, gentlemen, and good morning to both of you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me here.
Ashish, let's begin with you. We've heard of this, people flying for free using their credit card reward points to its best capacity. We've heard of these stories for years now, but you've given a number to that. More than 400 flights that you've not spent a single money for. So tell us, what's the math there? Is this really possible? And how much work goes into really getting to that point then?
See, so it's very much possible. It's over 10-year period. It's not something I've done in a year or 2 years. It's all about discipline. If you use your credit cards in the right manner, if you use the right cards, if you use them in the right manner, and finally, if you redeem your credit card points in the right manner to get maximum value, you can easily get. You don't have to pay for travel again. If I have to try and put a number over here, you can probably get and there are credit cards in the market even today where you can probably get a free flight. Let's say a Delhi to Bombay flight for on spending as little as probably 60 to 70,000 rupees. That's it. So if you spend 70,000 rupees on select cards, you can easily get a Delhi to Bombay flight.
But you have to do the math there. So you're paying up 60-70,000 annually. You have to be able to avail that. So you should be a frequent traveler. Otherwise, it's not going to make sense. For anyone taking a flight in 6 months, let's say, that's a big no, right?
Yes, so that's why we always emphasize on that it's not about having a lot of cards. It's not about spending a lot of money on those cards. It's all about having the right card for you. So if, like you rightly mentioned, if someone doesn't really travel very frequently, then having a card which rewards you in terms of flight currency doesn't really make sense. If you're someone who prefers cashback, then even if you're getting half the value in terms of cashback, but it makes more sense for you to have a cashback card. So it really depends upon, it's very subjective to an individual. Just to give you some numbers over here, there are more than 1,000 different types of cards being issued in India right now. That's a lot of complexity because you have 1,000 cards with their own TNC categories or merchants where they give you disproportionate rewards, where they don't give you rewards. A lot of these cards would have as many as 100 different redemption options, and each option would have different value altogether. So the beauty begins with choosing the right card basis where you spend as a user, what is the quantum of your expenses, and what rewards you prefer. I've frequently seen people who take up credit cards simply looking at certain reels which an influencer posted online, which may or may not be the right card for them. I've seen people who get a card which probably rewards you disproportionately on spending 15 lakh rupees annually, but in reality, they spend only about 4 to 5 lakh rupees annually. But they saw a reel, they saw that it's a highly rewarding card, and they got the card. Doesn't really make sense for you. So you really have to optimize each and every leg of the transaction, beginning with getting the right card, using it in the right manner, redeeming your points in the right manner, and then The fourth one, which is not really concerning the credit card directly, but also redeeming your loyalty program reward points in the right manner, which may be your Air India, Maharaja, Marriott, Bonvoy. Because even over there, for example, when I talk about Marriott, and there are 200 properties in India, so it's not really, it's very mainstream in India. You can get a per point Marriott per point value anywhere ranging between 15 paise, 15 Indian paise to more than 4 rupees per point. Now, a lot of people, you may do everything correct, but at the time of redeeming your Marriott points, you may end up redeeming them for something which is not so rewarding, right? So all the efforts you put in really goes to waste. So, like I said, you really have to optimize each leg of the journey, and you have to be very, very disciplined. Credit cards are not for the undisciplined people. I repeat that.
Financial discipline is key here. It's
Yes.
the foundation of whether you should sign up for this or not. Okay, Mr. Bagga, which brings me to the question of how clearly there are two sides to this. One is because it demands so much work, a lot of people don't sign up for it. So a lot of people think it's best to just pay up using your debit cards, or now you have UPIs, easy access. The other part of the story is a lot of people wanting to go about the math, the calculation, so on and so forth. But where should they draw the line? I want to come to you for the first part. Credit cards, yes, they're being used more and more. And with each passing year, we're seeing its adoption go up. But the fact remains, and this is RBI data, if we speak of the number of credit card holders, in 2024, it was restricted to 10.8 crore in the country. Vis-a-vis debit card holders, at least 100 crore debit cards are out there. So that's the kind of distinction we're seeing, which clearly means that credit cards are still not as popular. Why do you think this gap lies, Mr. Bagga?
No, the gap is very simple. I launched the first debit card in India in 96. And I just wish I had someone like Ashish when I used to run SBI cards or Citibank cards. I wish, because we used to send our data to the US. That's the only database where we had terabytes of computing power. And I would run champion challenges. So I wish I had somebody like Ashish guiding me at that time, or we had that computing power. So debit card, we have to understand it's your own money. It's just a facilitator. Like UPI, you're using your own credit balance to do that. A credit card, a bank is giving you a loan. An issuer is giving you an unsecured loan to use as you wish. That's why it's a much lesser quantum than the debit card. Debit card, if you have a bank balance, depending on your daily usage amount, you can use it immediately. It gives you access, it gives you convenience, and it gives you the ability to not having to carry a lot of cash. That's what the debit card is doing. Now, coming to the right usage, I think this is a great initiative what Ashish has brought in. It allows you to optimize your spends and then to use what you have earned on those spends. Now, that is very relevant to the affluent and the mass affluent. I'll tell you how you make money in a credit card business. One is your annual fees, which mostly now it's gone to zero.
Yeah.
Second is every time you swipe at a merchant, the bank, the issuer makes anything from 0.5 to 1.5%, 2%. If you're Amex, you might be able to charge 3.5%. Then where you actually make the money. People like us, the banks lose money on credit cards because we pay up our bills at the end of the month, and then people like Ashish are optimizing the rewards where the banks were making a lot of money. He's going to hurt their balance sheets there also. But where we make money is the revolver, the person who borrows on the card and then pays 24 to 48% per annum. Or the fourth is the most foolish person who withdraws cash on the card. There I charge 4% upfront and 48% per annum. That was the profit-making customer. I remember I had taken my country head to an ATM once, and he saw one person coming wearing rubber chappals. He said, "This is not my customer, I don't want." I said, "This is the person paying our salaries because he's paid you 4% the moment he took out 1 rupee from the ATM, and he'll pay 48% to you." Then what happens when you charge so high? There's a very high delinquency. These people are not able to repay those loans. So I think one part is The good
So if we
part
were to
of
broadly, Mr. Baggan, again, to just make it as relatable, broadly talk about, a lot of experts have weighed in on how if your expenditures are 1/3 of your total income, then this is a safe bet for you. Can we classify it like that? For anyone who's still thinking whether they should switch to using a credit card?
Yeah, definitely. 80% of India is not revolving. So it makes sense for all of them. So if somebody is giving you a free optimization, why not go for it? That would be my thing, to try it out. And going on Shark Tank, being successful on Shark Tank, Ashish has really raised the bar. You know, there is a lot of buzz around this. And I think it's a good move. You can benefit from it. And it is very true. See, immediately when you spend on the bank card, a message comes to you, would you like to pay for this spend using your reward points? Because it makes a lot of sense for the bank. The reward points, they will pay 10 paisa to the rupee in helping you to pay the bill using that. And you don't know income tax, at what point they will come back that this should have been part of your income. On the other side, if you go for travel, you take your miles, it's a little more a complicated process, and most of us can't do that maths. Only the bankers can do that maths. This is really, like we have brought in access through online investment. Ashish is really bringing in a very good computing on a very simple to understand platform. So you know, I will make 40 paisa if I spend here. I'll make as much as 1 point is equal to 1 mile, and it will translate into these many free flights for me. I think if
and
somebody
so
did
far
that-
we've established that reward points being used for flights works out really well. Ashish, you've also given us as an example how your journey has also spoken of the same. But tell us whether there are other aspects to a person's daily spendings, your daily expenditures, your bill payments. Can you really come in and optimize there using credit cards? What does your experience suggest? How does one best put it to use?
See, you can, practically speaking, you can get more value from any and every spends that you do, including your UPI spends. Majority people today, you end up paying by UPI, which is a debit to your bank account. But if you use a credit card on UPI, you may get some value over there as well. So a lot of people are missing out on value, be it paying your bills, be it paying your child's education fee, paying for groceries. So depending upon category and the merchant that you're paying to, you can definitely get some value over there. I would also want to highlight, so you spoke about the number of credit cards being 10 CR and the number of debit cards being 10x. There's a fundamental difference between a credit card and debit card. Debit card is something which you get by default when you open a bank account. So when you open a bank account, the intention is not to get a debit card. The intention is to really save your money with the bank and open a bank account. But it comes by default. So all of us, that's why the number is probably 100 crore. A credit card, you actually have to go do KYC, and it's a pull from the user. So 10 crore credit cards are much more powerful than a 100 crore debit cards.
Also, I think premium cards, not everyone has easy access to, right? So what is the calculation that takes place on part of the banks there? How do you decide which user should be given a card which is not easily available?
So there's another way that a bank makes money. So apart from all the ways that sir mentioned, there's also cross-selling. So for example, HDFC has a card called Infinia, which is given only to the super premium users. Now, bank doesn't really make money directly from an Infinia. So if you talk to HDFC Bank people, there would be very low delinquency, and these people, they end up redeeming all their points. But it also acts as a magnet for the bank to attract these high spenders, and then end up giving them a lot of other banking products, which may be premium bank accounts where they need to maintain a certain amount of balance, or maybe sell them insurance policies, maybe FDs and something or the other. So at the end of it, a bank would look at their overall PNL from a particular user. So that's one more way that a bank makes money. And so you rightly mentioned that maybe people at the bottom of the pyramid are subsidizing people at the top of the pyramid, the people who use their premium credit cards, because they pay on time, they redeem their points. In majority cases, they also...
And where are people going wrong, Ashish? Where are people going wrong? So is it hidden costs? Is it delayed payments? or not really making the most of your credit card reward
So,
system?
in India, the journey itself begins in a very wrong manner. So, majority of the people, 90%, more than 90% people end up taking a card which has been offered to them. And when I say offered to them, probably you're a college student, maybe you're an early professional, and whichever card is being given to you, simply take it without really thinking if it's the right card for you. So, people feel fortunate that they've been given a card. So that's one. So you begin your journey with the wrong product, which is not relevant for you. Even if you go around asking your friends and family, a lot of them would end up giving cards which worked for them, but it may or may not be the right card for you. And same thing goes for looking at influencer videos because they're meant for masses, they're not meant specifically for you. So people begin their journey with the wrong product. Secondly, people don't check their reward points on a frequent basis. They don't redeem their points on a frequent basis. So that's the second issue. And thirdly, and that's the human psychology, we are trained to always choose the path which is less tedious. So, like sir mentioned, if you have to redeem for a flight or hotel, it probably involves a bit more effort from the user. But because we are trained to minimize the efforts we put in, people simply end up redeeming them for cashback, which may be probably 1/10 the value in a lot of cases, or even lesser. So these are some
A
of
lot
the.
of credit card users, in fact, the ones who own multiple or hold multiple credit cards, also say that they've learned how, or the art around using the credit card the right way over a few years. So it's also about falling and getting up and learning and going ahead and moving forward. Ashish, do you think there is also a time in your credit card journey that comes wherein you can make a decision based on how many credit cards you should have? How do you
See,
really
this is
decide?
some-
So you need to move on from one to the next.
See, this is a myth, frankly speaking, because I've come across lots of people who feel they are experts in credit cards because they probably took some card or they redeemed certain points. But when you really go deep and when you really show them the value, they know that they've been doing it all wrong because all the TNCs on the cards keep changing, it keeps evolving. You need tech to really help you out. A person can't really know all of it. That's the fundamental principle behind SafeSage as well. I'll give you an example and then Ultra HNI. So when the person is a user of SafeSage, when I spoke with the person has the most premium credit card in India, the most expensive card. And the person told me I recently spent 60 lakh rupees at a Tanishq showroom and I got reward points for the same. And I told the person that you did not get points because that's an excluded category. We had an argument. The person called up their relationship manager, and even the relationship manager was not aware. The person told the user that you would have got the points. Then we showed her on the bank website that you don't get the points. Now, in this case, the person thought they have the most expensive card in India, so they should get the points. The relationship manager told her, who himself was not aware, that you would have got the points. In reality, if she had gone with an ICICI Amazon Pay card, which is a lifetime free card, which is a Masi card, even then she would have got 1% reward points, which is 60,000 rupees in this case, compared to having the most expensive card in India. So the difference is people feel they are doing it all well, but they are not. And this
So
is the
credit
myth.
card usage is certainly going up, Mr. Bagga, but financial literacy is still not there. Does something worry you about this gap? Very quickly, 30 seconds because we need to wrap up.
Okay, no, we have to be careful on the credit part of it, so not overspending. And as credit card companies, having run two manufacturers of credit card, we would try and optimize people's usage. So we would have programs running that you spend this. I would have customers who would in those times be spending 4 lakhs because we would say the top 3 customers go to Bangkok or something, and people would spend and spend. So around Diwali, around New Year, all those kind, and school opening time, we would give loans. So, and BNPL, for example, has become a very useful tool, but also leading to a lot of financial distress. So there are two sides of it, but Ashish has solved for one part of it to optimize the spends that you can afford. But the financial literacy and the credit part, you're very right in pointing out, those also we have to make sure we address it well.
Also, don't just end up spending more just because you're chasing those reward points. That's a very dangerous pattern. You must not give into that. Only spend when required, where required. Ashish, thank you so much for that wonderful initiative and for sharing your story. Mr. Banga, thank you. Always a pleasure having you on the show.